Okay. Approval of the minutes from the meeting of November 14th, 2011. Motion. And all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay. I'll turn this over to Jim and to Lamont and Kathy to move forward.
I think the first item of business is the review and approval of the mission statement and measurement report. Ms. Rinaldi, the Chief of Staff, is here to speak to that.
Hi. There are two separate sections of the Public Authorities Law that require us on an annual basis to review our mission and then also review key performance indicators. And that report is contained in your materials here. The mission statement was adopted a couple of years back, and the performance indicators are really nothing new. They all are reported on in the individual agency committees, various categories, things that you've seen before. The thing that's different is that this is just a compilation of all the different operating agencies and their results. This is something we're required to do on an annual basis. We'll submit, or actually Lamont will submit this report to the authority's budget office. We did this last year, also at a similar time of the year, and I think that's about it, unless you have any questions.
Motion to approve. Yes, motion to approve. All in favor? Aye.
Great.
And this goes to the full board, too.
It does. It will go to the full board for approval, yes, absolutely.
We have a staff summary regarding the travel and business expense policy. We are recommending changes to that policy to allow MTA employees to take advantage of widely available discounts that are offered through Amtrak by purchasing tickets directly. We are also removing from the policy the travel automobile reimbursement rate. That was in the policy, but that changes periodically, so we're going to now post that on the website so employees have the most current and recent up-to-date information regarding automobile reimbursement. The other thing we're doing is we are basically codifying a practice that we already have in which the Chief of Staff is required to approve certain out of area travel. It is already a practice that we're doing, and the policy is just reflecting current practice.
The next item is the LAC procurement guidelines, which were modified last year. We are proposing that this may recommend a couple of minor changes to them. One of significance being to authorize procurements through the federal business mentoring program, small business mentoring program that is being created. As you know, we already have a small business mentoring program at the state level that was authorized, and that is already reflected in the procurement guidelines. But when we have the federal small business mentoring program up and running, that should also be reflected in the procurement guidelines as an authorized vehicle for procurements. So we're asking you to make that change. The other change is formality, simply to reflect the fact that we do an annual procurement report.
Motion. Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. The Public Authorities Law, Section 2824.
Requires that the board adopt certain policies. Each year I prepare a status report on those policies. I've handed each of you this sheet, which lists the current status of those policies. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take those. The motion.
And procurement. Do we include e-commerce procurement as part of
In the procurement guidelines? Not by its terms. The way the e-procurement works now is it's already covered through the RFP provision of the procurement guidelines. That portion of the Public Authorities Law allows you to compete on price and other terms. So that's the vehicle.
You need to think about it. If you expand specifically to include it in a future meeting, in case they need flexibility going forward, that's the only reason. As they develop.
We also have to look at state legislation. We've got to prove the success of the procurement program and bring it up to Albany because it's, you know, they're still doing things with ink and paper.
Okay, I second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Lamont, recent developments.
Each year, I give you a quick presentation on current developments in corporate governance. You have a presentation in front of you, this document here. There are three things that I would like to bring to your attention. The Independent Authority Budget Office has been doing quite a bit in the area of censures recently. They've issued 19 censure letters to 19 local authorities. 6 of them were in 2011 and 13 so far in March of this year. Most of the censures were directly related to those authorities failing to file required reports. I've given you a copy of one of those censure letters that is dated March 5th, 2012, so that you know what they look like. Luckily, we're not on that list. Each year, the ABO provides a list to the public of public authorities that have failed to file required reports. We are not on that list.
I'd like to highlight the letter that Lamont gave out from April 20th, 2011 to LIPA. On the back of it, it shows all of the things required for transparency. If we were audited, and it would come back yes across the board. And I'm sensitive to this only because certain people think that we don't have transparency. We're you know, you can find out anything that's on our website, almost anything on our website, but my home phone number. So,
We have to ratify?
No.
no. We have, where the next thing is we were going to go into executive session. We don't need to do that at this point. We can go through, and Lamont will go through the issues that we have to cover on the board assessment.
We're not going to consent.
No.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
That's correct. Each year, you do a self-assessment survey, and we're going to begin that process again for this year. What I'm handing you right now are the... I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Oh, handing you the survey questions. They are basically similar, if not exactly the same as what we did last year. The process will be, again, the same. I will reach out to each of the chairs of the committees to ask if there are any questions that they have regarding the survey, any comments. I will incorporate those into the survey, at which point you will receive an email with a username and password and requesting that you submit your responses. So in the next couple of weeks, I'll be reaching out to each of you to ask if there's anything in the survey that you'd like to change. And sure.
Put the mic on. Put the microphone on. So. Well, there are people
Jim?
down there.
Item number 10, that keeps getting a little later each time. Some of the stuff didn't come in till Saturday. Do you really want to highlight that?
Yeah, it's a good question.
If it's an issue, let's use this as an opportunity for the members to say we want to buy X day before.
Well, that, if you will recall, Ballin recused on a whole range of stuff for that, exactly that reason. I don't care. It is coming in later and later.
And the survey is an
put that on
opportunity
your
for you to
assessment.
voice.
It is coming in, and if it's a problem for the board to come in later and later, let's make that known. And that way I
Put it on
can
your
go back to
assessment.
the staff and say, look, guys,
Okay.
you know, here's what we need to do. We need to have it by Thursday or Friday, no later than a certain time.
I think in the particular instance that you're referring to, I think it was a delivery problem, actually, that led to the particular member's non-receipt.
Yeah, John's situation was quite unique. The mailroom here and the mailroom at his law firm, both, I mean, it was like,
He's 3 blocks away.
no, but it's a jinx.
But he was
jinx
brand
of,
new at the time,
you know,
I think.
It was totally jinxed and how it worked. Our mailroom was delinquent. It got to their mailroom, and they let it sit there instead.
I didn't get stuff until Saturday. It happens.
Oh, it's that Bronx thing.
No, I get it in Manhattan, so there.
I have nothing further.
I'll have Linda Kleinbaum take it up to Riverdale. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Motion to
Motion.
adjourn. Thank you very much. Then Chuck, thank you for coming back for the quorum.
All right.
Thank you, Lamont. Thank you, Kathy.
Next one's 4:15.